The only difference between me and a real hostess is that I don't get touched. They can't touch me because there's a bar between me and the customer. If you work at a lounge, you sit next to the customer and there's nothing stopping them from touching you. All of our customers, like 90% of them are married men. Hostesses are kind of seen as sex workers. In Japan, if a husband cheats on his wife with a mistress, his wife can sue her. But if she's a sex worker, she can't sue that sex worker.
Hey there, and thank you for tuning in. We're excited to bring you another great conversation today. If you like the show and want to support us, please hit the subscribe button so we can keep bringing you great content week after week. And if you're feeling extra generous, give this video a like and share your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you so much. And now, let's get into it. Welcome to Unpacking Japan. I'm Toby, and today we welcome Silvie. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Tokyo. You're known online as Silvie the Queen, and you work as a hostess in Tokyo and create content as well on your work life and day life in Tokyo and in the nightlife scene, which is pretty unique. And I'm super curious to find out more about what it is and what it is not, the misconceptions people may have about it. But first, I'm curious, what brought you to Japan in the first place?
When I was little, there is like a bunch of channels. I mean, without cable, because we didn't have cable when I was growing up. And one of the channels is channel 18, and it's like the foreign channel. Mm-hmm. And that channel usually had like Japanese animation in the mornings. And they didn't have like, there's no translations or anything. And I was like 5, and I would watch it, and I didn't know what it was, but I was like really intrigued by it because it was like this language that I didn't know, but these like really cute things. And my dad said like I used to learn Japanese by watching it. Really? But I would he said like I understood what they were talking. I didn't, but because it's one of the cartoons was Chibi Maruko.
Okay.
And it's really easy to understand what's going on. You don't have to know Japanese to understand what's going on. So I was like really intrigued by this. And as I got older, like I kind of realized like what this was. It's like, this is Japanese culture. This is Japanese anime. And I think I just had like a nostalgia for Japan, even though I didn't grow up in Japan, because of those experiences when I was little. So like I've always wanted to come to Japan.
You always wanted to come. What was it that kind of made you decide, okay, now's the time. Now I need to get my plane ticket and fly over?
There's just like there was no options in America. Like I grew up really poor. And even if I went to school and I got a degree, I would still be living paycheck to paycheck. I'd still be paying off the college loans, and I would have to eventually be with someone, like be in a relationship and pay half and half, and never be able to like move out. Because my older sister is in this situation where she's like a manager, and her boyfriend works, and they live together in an apartment, and they can't afford to like move anywhere or save up money.
And it's too tight on budget.
Yeah. And I didn't want to be in a relationship. And I didn't want roommates. I just thought like, I'm never going to be able to own my own place or like live on my own if I stay in America. So I decided that I should go somewhere else.
And because you had this image from Japan from a young age, you were like, why not Japan? Why not try this?
Yeah.
Did you have a plan for coming here? Like, okay, I'm going to go and study in Japan, or I'm going to find work and do something there.
At first I wanted to do study abroad in Japan, but it was too expensive. So I just came here as like a language student. And I already knew someone who lived here, so I was kind of easy to like integrate into Japan. Was
it what you expected when you first arrived? Do you remember that day when you landed in Tokyo and kind of got off the plane and discovered what you've been seeing on TV up until then?
A little bit, yes and no. Like, obviously, like Japan is not like anime, but there's like the image, like the visual things is what makes Japan like really pretty and like nice to live. It's like everything's clean. So it feels like a cartoon in some ways. Like you feel like everything is so clean. Like it just doesn't feel real. Like I grew up in LA, so in LA, everything's very broken down and dirty. There's like graffiti everywhere. There's trash everywhere. It's just like it feels like a different planet. So I had like a lot of culture shock at the same time, but I didn't have really any expectations. I didn't really have an expectation of how Japanese people would be or how Japanese society would be. But I mean, I was like a weeaboo when I was a kid. So I like studied a lot about Japanese culture before I came here.
So you fit right in when you got here. And first you went to language school, started learning the language too. Found a part-time job, I imagine, at the time as well.
Yeah.
At the restaurant?
No, part-time job. I used to do modeling when I first moved because I was like thin, but I'm not thin now. But yeah, I used to do modeling for a while, and I also taught English, and that's basically what I did.
Did you already start your YouTube channel back then, or is this more recent?
I started 4 years ago.
Okay, so you came here, started learning the language, and eventually decided, okay, this is a place where I want to stay.
Yeah, because there's like really no other options.
No going back.
Yeah.
When you knew you wanted to stay here, did you have an idea that you wanted to take your career into like the nightlife sector, or did you have something else?
Oh no, I used to have like a business with my business partner before, and we had like a falling out, so we dissolved our relationship. But I had goals. I mean, before that, I had like an image of what my life was going to be like. Like we had the gym. I was a personal trainer before. A long time ago, and I lost the job, so I was just looking for any job. Like I was searching I applied for everything basically, and that was just one of the jobs. It didn't even say, it just said like bartending, but in a bunny costume, and I thought, oh, that sounds exciting, so why not try that?
That's an interesting way of framing it. Bartending in a bunny costume.
Yeah. So it was one of the ones that I applied to, and they said okay to me. So that's why I started doing it. I wasn't really like my plan to go into it.
Bartending and working at the bunny bar may be two slightly different things. When you went for the interview, what were kind of the expectations from their side? What did they ask you to know how to do?
So the job description said I don't have to drink. They kind of lied. They said I didn't have to drink, and it was like a basic bartending job. But when I went there, they told me, you need to get drinks from the customers. Like, this is how we make money, is if the customer buys the girls drinks, like you get money back from that. So the purpose of your job is to get as many drinks as possible from customers.
So you don't need to drink, but you will earn money only if you drink.
Yes.
Interesting. So you go through that interview. I think in one of your videos you mentioned about the costume fit, and there's one costume per member at the club. So you have to try on. Was that correct?
Yeah. The first day when they do the interview, you have to try on the costume, and the costumes only come in size 4. Luckily, they had a size 7, which is my size, and it fit me, but it barely fit because I recently broke it. But yeah, you have to be really thin to work there. All the girls I work with are models.
So can you explain a little bit? What is a hostess and what is a bunny girl?
Okay, so a hostess, there's like slight difference because I work at a girls' bar. Hostesses work in lounges, but where I work, the owner has both. So I work with the legitimate hostess. And the biggest, I guess the only difference between me and a real hostess is that I don't get touched. They can't touch me because there's a bar between me and the customer. And that's the biggest difference. If you work at a lounge, you sit next to the customer and they can touch you. I mean, they're not supposed to, but there's nothing stopping them from touching you. And they're paying for your drinks. They get drunk. You get drunk. They expect to be able to touch you.
And you are separated from the customer by a bar, which gives you a little bit more breathing room.
Yes.
And space to work. So hostess is a general term, and bunny girl is basically a specific category that falls under this.
Yeah.
Did you know what you were about to do when you kind of interviewed and signed for this job? Did you have like expectations, or did you sort of, let's just try?
At first I kind of was a little suspicious because these types of jobs, they're usually they're not straightforward because they try to like get girls to do these jobs. Girls usually are not really wanting to do these jobs. But also I couldn't really be picky at the time because I did need money. But I think what made me choose the job was talking to the other girls that worked there. They didn't have anything negative to say about their experiences. They actually really liked it. They said it's a lot safer compared to other places they worked before because our bar is in Ginza. And Ginza is like a really high-end part of Tokyo. So it's like a lot safer. It's not like we don't work in Kabukicho. So a lot of the girls used to have jobs in other parts of Tokyo. They said it's like super dangerous. It's super shady. And like even the management like doesn't treat the girls right. But at our place, we get treated good, I think.
Okay, so the place where you are and the kind of club you work at makes a big difference.
I think so.
So you had an opportunity to actually talk to the people working there before kind of joining. And that kind of gave you the confidence. Okay, this is maybe actually somewhat a job as a bartender in a bunny costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember your first day working there?
I do. I was really scared. But I did really well on the first day. I think because that nervousness, maybe the customers like that, like shy, I don't know what I'm doing kind of vibes. So I think the first day was scary, but also exciting. I got to make friends with the other girls. We exchanged like our information and stuff, and they told me what to expect. And I don't actually remember the customers though. I just remember the way I felt. There was no bad experience the first couple of days. I think because I was like in a good mood. Like people like they can feel like your energy. Like I was happy and excited, so they kind of get that from me.
Can you run us through like a typical day of work there? What time do you start? Okay. What time do you finish? What are your actual tasks at the bar?
So I leave home around 7 o'clock and I get there at 7:30. And then I just changed. We have like a small closet with all of the costumes. Each girl has their own costume. And if you work there long enough, like you get to make your own like custom one. And I recently got a pink one. So I put it on, and then a lot of girls will put on their makeup and they'll do their hair and stuff, but I'm already ready to go. And then they give us this little signboard, and we put on a jacket and we put on the sign, and we go outside. There's like 4 corners. We all stand in each corner, and then we just stand there and say like "Girls Bardo desu ka" to like random people that walk by. And sometimes they'll stop and they'll smile, or they'll like shake their head or give us dirty look. Like usually, like if it's another foreigner, like a tourist from like more conservative countries, they usually give like very dirty looks at us. So be like, no, this is not good. Or they'll take our videos without asking. They'll just like put a camera in our face. But we're covered. So the only thing is like the bunny ears that's sticking out. And we stand there until we can get a customer. And if we can't get customers, they send us home.
Really?
Yeah.
How long do you have to get a customer?
Until the last train. So we are open until 2 a.m. If there's customers past 2, like 3 a.m., then we stay open until that time. But if there's no one, then we go home before the last train.
Must be kind of tiring to just stand outside and you've got people walking past, people giving you looks, people taking videos of you against your will. Can you tell now, with your experience, who is a potential customer and who is just going to walk by and ignore you?
Yeah, I can tell.
What is the tell? What makes you...
Well, it's different for every girl, because the most important thing when you're a hostess is your appearance. Like, it all comes down to appearances. You can be super nice and friendly, but if the guy is not sexually attracted to you, then they don't care. They're not going to stop. So for me, like usually the guys that approach me, they're younger guys. Surprisingly, they're a lot younger than I am. And they're not like the typical customer. The typical customer for the Hostess Club is the salary man. So they usually come in groups. So they're
In groups?
Yeah.
Okay.
After work. So they go to like drinking parties. They go, like the second location is usually our bar, is where they go. So those are like the typical customers, but they don't usually pick me. They prefer the girl who's like super young and like super thin. Like one guy, one of the customers said the other day, he's like, "We like lolicon." And
Okay.
yeah, so usually they want the girls to be like around 20s, like early 20s. And I don't fit that description. So I would say like usually my guys are younger. Like they're into like foreign women. They're more like traveled, like they've gone to like America.
Oh, interesting.
Or
Okay.
they just want to talk to like a foreign person.
So you said the most important is looks in your line of business, and you are a foreigner, so you really stand out from the majority of other hostesses. Has this given you maybe interesting and unique opportunities to meet specific guests that will not go to the Japanese bunny girls, but really want you and kind of are a different kind of clientele that you can have a maybe different type of conversation with?
Yeah. I think the guy usually wants to talk to me. They want to learn English. They'll say like, "Oh, you can teach me English," so they'll choose to talk to me instead.
It's an interesting place to go to learn and study English. And so you talk to the customers outside, and they are interested in, they choose a bunny girl, and then they go inside.
Yes.
And then after that is the second part of your job.
The second part is we make them get drunk and buy us drinks.
And that's how you make money.
Yes. So the more the drunk they get, the more willing they are to buy alcohol for the girls.
Is there a specific system? For example, when the customer comes, he has to buy a certain kind of beverage?
He doesn't have to buy us drinks.
So this is entirely up to you and how you kind of lead the conversation, and if he's willing to kind of pay and buy something.
It's basically like a dance. Like they have to like you. If they like you, they'll buy you a drink. If they don't like you, they won't buy you anything. So usually we have like a small, medium, and large drink, and they're all different prices.
Okay.
But the one that we make the most is champagne. So
the big bottles of whichever French brand of champagne. And okay.
So I usually try to sell those.
You mentioned in some of your videos that you end up having to drink the whole bottle by yourself.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because if you share the drink with the other girls, they have to split the percentage of whatever you get back. So that becomes almost zero if you split it with multiple people.
But that bottle is purchased by the customer for you specifically to drink?
Yes.
That sounds... I don't have a word for it.
I've drank 2 bottles one night before by myself.
You must not feel very well after that.
No.
What is the incentive for having a customer buy you a beverage as opposed to just him spending money and buying beverages for himself?
I think I'm not like entirely sure, but my hypothesis is that hostessing is from geisha culture. Like geishas are entertainers, and they used to drink alcohol and play these like drinking games with their customers. And it was just, like they're creating like this illusion of this world. Like these men can enter this world, and for this short amount of time, they feel like this person can be their lover or is their friend, or they feel something. So they want the girl to feel that too. That's why they get the girl drunk as well. So we're kind of like creating like an atmosphere, and we can't do that if they think we're sober. I don't know. There's just something about like, I feel like in Japan, I guess people like to get drunk. Like everyone, if you go outside after hours, you see a lot of drunk salarymen on the street. Even women, like just people enjoy being drunk. I think there's too much stress and bad there's a lot of negative feelings in the work life, and then the only time you can escape that is by being drunk. So I think that's we're helping in some way.
So the going to the bunny bar or the hostess club is a form of escapism.
Yes, I think so.
So you describe this kind of relationship with the customer as a sort of dance, a sort of back and forth. When you started out there, I'm sure that must have been difficult, right? If you don't really know what to do, how the Japanese customers react, what will make them buy. How did you figure out kind of your way of doing it?
I copy the girl who's number one.
Oh.
And
so number one means there's a ranking of hostesses.
We have rankings.
How do those work?
So it depends every month how much money, how much drinks the girl's selling. And we have the score, like the amount of money.
Is it like a public? When a customer goes into the bar, he can see who's
private.
Number one? Okay. Because this number one thing we can sometimes see in the news, like host number one or hostess number one.
I think those are like the famous host bars or hostess clubs. They have the ranking outside, but we don't have that. It's private.
So it's private. So you have your internal rank, and so you know from within your team, she's really good at her job, so you copied that. Interesting. Are smaller, I'm assuming your bar is a bit smaller, but these famous clubs, are they operating more or less in the same way, or are they like noticeable?
Yeah, it's the same system. I interviewed a girl, she's my friend. She also worked as a hostess, but she worked at a really big place. And she said it's basically the same system. We even like made a video reacting to this like number one hostess in Japan, and we basically have exactly the same system. It's just on a smaller scale.
So you start drinking with your customer.
Oh, there's another thing I forgot to mention.
Okay.
It's not just the drinking. We also go on these paid dates before work called dohan.
Okay.
So sometimes if I have a dohan, I'll go to work before. I'll start dohan like around 6 p.m. And then we just have dinner. And then after dinner, I go to work and I bring the customer with me.
You said paid date, so the customer is going to pay you directly to go on a date, or
no? They pay the bar.
So they hire you as a kind of like a date from the bar.
Yeah, they'll tell the bar like we want to do dohan with this girl, and then we'll just plan the things out, and we'll meet, and then we'll go to the bar directly after.
If you get a share from the drinks you sell at the bar, do you get a share from the dohan as well?
The dohan is
okay.
Most. Yeah.
This is the best.
The best one.
Yeah, this is the winning the ticket, the lottery ticket. So you make money by selling the products. Do you still get paid like an hourly rate that you can make a living from if you don't actually sell anything? Okay. So back to the dance, and you are learning how to do this, but then you start getting drunk. You still have to maintain this environment, right? This escapist environment. How do you balance this kind of drinking and managing yourself and keeping up with the customer and what he's looking for, whether he just wants to learn English or if he wants to kind of fantasize? Or
we don't get drunk.
You don't get drunk.
We pretend. We have fake alcohol. So the girls have their separate bottles, and we even have fake tequila. We pretend that it's alcohol. We just pour it and we drink it, and they don't know. The customers don't know that.
So we hope your customers won't be watching and listening to this. But that's super interesting, because then you need to then act that you're somewhat drunk or drunk enough to. But maybe that's a good thing, because if you have to drink 2 bottles of champagne every night.
But when it comes to champagne, you can't you can't fake that. Like, you have to drink it.
You have to pop it. They will see it's a real bottle. Okay. At least something. What kind of experiences have you had with customers, or like interesting conversations that you just didn't expect?
One young guy came. He was, I think, 25. And I asked him if he had a girlfriend, and he was kind of shocked. He was like, no, if I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't come here.
Oh.
But he was like, but if I was married, like, it would not be a problem.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was confused. Because all of our customers, like 90% of them are married men.
90% are married men, and they come and it's okay. But if you're a young guy who's just having a girlfriend, not engaged, or you cannot come.
Yeah.
Did you explain why?
He didn't tell me why. He just said it doesn't, like, if he had a girlfriend, why would he be there?
Do you have an hypothesis?
Hostesses are kind of seen as like sex workers. So I think they're kind of protected. Like in Japan, if a husband cheats on his wife with a mistress, his wife can sue her for like a large sum of money. But if she's a sex worker, then she can't sue that sex worker.
Oh, really?
It's protected. I think sex workers are protected under the law. So they tried to mess around with the hostesses because they think like it's not cheating. I mean, I think the law and the way society thinks go together. So maybe they think it's not cheating and that's why there's a law, or maybe the law exists and that's why they don't think it's cheating.
I see. Interesting. And you said that you're perceived as sex workers, but you're not a sex worker. You just work at the bar, basically, right? Is this a misperception that kind of comes up again and again and again?
I think a lot of foreign people have a really harsh opinion about hostessing because it doesn't exist in America. It doesn't exist in other places in the world. It's a very Japanese thing. Some Japanese people also think it's like sex work, but usually they're like much older. Like I had, because I used to work when I started this job, I was also a housekeeper because I needed money, so I was doing both jobs. And I told my boss that I was starting this job that I couldn't do both jobs. I told him like I need to cut my hours, and I told him because I'm doing this job. And I told him that I just work at a girls' bar. I didn't say like I'm a hostess. And he basically asked me how much it would cost to sleep with me because he thought that I was a sex worker.
So because you work at a girl bar, he can just pay you for sex. Does this happen a lot?
The customers do ask that sometimes, yeah. They'll ask directly how much it would cost.
And this is when the bar that separates you from the customer comes in handy because you have a little bit of distance. Because if you're at the lounge and you're sitting next to him, it's perhaps a bit more uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Does it ever get to a point where you feel uncomfortable or, sorry, perhaps even unsafe?
No, we have a boss. The owner is usually there, the manager is usually there, and the mama-san is there. So if something happens, there's 3 people that can get involved. I mean, there was like one incident. It was like my first week working there. And I really don't remember what happened because I was really drunk. But they said that the guy was like trying to like grab me. Like he was like, he wouldn't let go. And they were like, they basically like had to separate us. But they said they handled it. And I got home safely. So I don't think anything has happened since then. Oh wait, no, there's this one time. But this didn't happen to me, but this happened to another girl. So she went on the elevator with the customer, and the customer was really drunk, and he groped her in the elevator. And they threatened this guy. They told him like, if you don't give us money, like we're going to call the police. And like the money that they got from the guy, they gave it to the girl, and that was like more than she would have made that night. So she was happy with the outcome. And the police usually don't do anything anyway.
Yeah, it's a tricky world to get into and to make change happen. You mentioned the boss, the manager, and the mama-san.
Yeah.
What are each of their roles?
So the mama-san takes care of the girls. She is usually like our manager, and then the manager is like her manager.
Okay, so she's, would assume, a former hostess herself, maybe with more experience and kind of decided to stay in this world.
Yes.
And by taking care of you, all of you, does she teach you the ropes, how to do this, how to deal with customers, how to get out of tricky situations, how to get more money?
Yeah, and she also usually, I mean, sometimes she gets customers too. Like she'll stand outside with us. And when it was my first day, she was helping me a lot. And sometimes customers come for her actually because they know her. So she still is kind of doing both jobs.
She's got her reputation. She's got her clients, her regulars. Do you have regulars already?
Yes, I do.
How does this work then? Do they just come, or are you kind of in some documentaries they talk about you having to engage with the customer outside of work as well, and kind of build a fake relationship, so to say, in a way that they want to keep coming back and that they feel like they're connected to you?
Yeah. So some of the girls do that. They make like Tinder or any like dating app, and they'll start messaging guys, trying to get the guys to come to the bar. I don't do that. I just don't have time because of my YouTube. I feel like now I'm doing this job because I'm trying to get as much experience as possible, because I'm not planning to stay here long term. Like I just want to learn as much as I can about this job, because I do want to open my own bar in the future.
Oh, cool.
So I'm just there now to learn. But I'm doing YouTube, so it's not like something that I plan to do for a long time.
Learning, what would you say from your experience so far in this world are some of the main things you learned that you were not expecting when going into this?
Well, I wasn't expecting it to, this is stupid, but I didn't think it would affect my self-esteem. But that's stupid.
Can you explain more what you mean by that?
Because, like I said, it's based on your appearance, and I know that I'm not like the prettiest or the youngest or the skinniest. So I thought like I'll be fine, because I know where I stand, and I know my strong points and my weak points, and I know like there's gonna be someone who likes me, so it doesn't really matter if I'm the best. But it kind of hurts when people like, there's sometimes the customers will come and they'll just ask to see the girls, and if it's me, they'll see me and then they'll just like turn around and like walk out. Like they'll be like, I don't want that. And it is, I don't want to take it personal, because I personally don't care what just some random guy thinks, but it's still like my job to get customers. So it's still like, I feel like I'm not doing well. I'm not good enough sometimes.
So working in an industry where beauty is your selling point makes you reflect a little bit on kind of, okay, do I fit the standard, so to say, the expectations, and makes you reflect on, oh, do I need to change my body? Do I need to go on a diet? How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with that?
Yeah.
I cry. No. I don't know. What is it called?
Compartmentalize.
I can't say that word.
I don't want to say it twice. I think I'll fumble it second time. You put it into different boxes.
Yeah, different boxes. So my job is not me. Like I'm more than just the job. I'm more than just my appearance. That's just like something that is like outside of me that I can't really control. I can't control if someone is attracted to me or not. I do still try to work on it in some ways, and I know like this is not a job that is sustainable. I can't do this like long term. I could probably do this for another year, because there's like an age limit in this job.
Is it an official age limit, or is it kind of like an unspoken rule?
You have to be under 30 to work there, and a lot of people speculate like I'm in my 30s, over 30, but they want the girls to be like 21, 22, 23, like college aged girls. And like once you're a certain age, like you can't work there. So
you came from the US, you've worked before, you've done things, you've seen things, and you are able to detach yourself from this is my job, and you know what you're worth. For young girls that are just fresh out of school, out of college, that start working in this nightlife, where basically every day they're evaluated for how they look, do you feel like it's affecting them a lot in a negative way?
I think it's both. Yes and no. The Japanese girls that I work with, they hate the job. they really feel uncomfortable wearing the costume. They despise the guys that they have to talk to. Like, they just feel only negative opinions about the job. But there's no jobs for college age girls that make that much money. Like, you can be a hostess or you can work at the convenience store. And if you work at the convenience store, it's not enough money to live in Tokyo and to go to school and all that. So they're doing it because they have to. And also, like, Japanese society is not very equal in a lot of ways. And women are still harshly judged on their appearance. Like, you have to be really thin. You have to always like look put together. Like, if you don't wear makeup, if you're not wearing like a nice outfit, people think you're being like disrespectful in some ways. So I think the pressure is already there. Maybe it's just slightly turned up a little bit when they do hostessing, but it's already existing in society.
You mentioned a lot of them go there for the money. What kind of money are they making in a month? If you had to give like a rough ballpark,
around like 3,000 a month.
USD. So we're talking like close to Yeonjuman-ish. That's a lot for a college girl, or even for most fresh grads don't make that.
If they do well.
If they do well, of course.
Yes.
But it's a good amount. Do you feel like then for many of them it's difficult if they stay too long in that job to transition into something else? Because they'll make good money there, maybe they'll graduate from university, but if they start taking a regular fresh grad job at a company, it's gonna be cut nearly in half.
I can't speak for them. I know some girls that are very traditional. They want to get married as soon as possible. So maybe they'll decide to quit hostessing and go into a company and find their partner and then get married and quit. Or, I mean, yeah, there's some girls that probably will not want to quit hostessing and keep doing it. But then as you get older, like, you plateau and then you won't get any customers. You might have to go to do some other kind of job, like an actual like sex work kind of job, because I don't know if they have age limits for those jobs. So I think like it becomes an addiction where it can lead to other things down the road.
But you have an exit plan. You are hoping to set up your own bar. When did you kind of came up with that idea, and what made you decide to, okay, I like this, I'm gonna make my own?
I never want to work for someone. I like both of my parents, they started their own businesses. So I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I want to do my own thing. And I kind of also want to fix the way things are a little bit. I mean, I see like a lot of problems, but I see also like a lot of good points, like making the illusion, like the environment, like that's something that I want to keep. I want to recreate that in my own bar, but I don't want to force girls to like get drinks from men or like do dohan, like those kind of things. I kind of just want it to be like a cute bar or like cafe with like the bunny costumes.
Can you describe to me like your ideal work environment for bunny girls or hostesses if you had to create your own?
My ideal working conditions?
Yes, you said you would like to fix some problems. So what would your ideal bar and ideal environment look like?
I kind of like the way Hooters is. I mean, it's more like family friendly in Japan. It's not like it's not like a strip club. Like, some people have the idea also. Like, they come into the bar and they expect to see like a strip show. So the customers would be slightly different. Like, they would be more girls. And
more like a themed cafe, but for evening.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
Like a maid cafe, but like a bunny cafe.
Bunny cafe.
Interesting. What other problems? You mentioned you see some problems, but I have a feeling you have solutions in mind for changing them. What would you say are like the main three issues right now in that industry?
A lot of people feel like they're getting scammed when they come in, especially foreign people that don't understand the system. Japanese people know what they're getting into, so they go inside, but foreigners are always suspecting that we're trying to scam them. And it kind of seems like a scam because there's a 30% charge, the tax. There's 10% tax, there's 10% table charge, and there's 10% service charge. So in total, it's 30% charge.
30% on top of everything you...
Yes. And we don't say that when we're outside. When we're outside, it just says like all you can drink, 5,000 yen. Like people are like, oh, wow, it's cheap.
Plus 30%.
But they don't know that there's a 30%. So they come in and then they get charged that 30%. And they're like, what?
It does sound like a scam,
Yeah.
right? If you don't disclose up front what
but Japanese people always ask
how much it is.
Yeah,
so it varies from club to club.
And if you're in Kabukicho, it might be 40%.
Okay, wow, interesting. So when you know the system, you know what you get into, you know that this is the price, and you can add a markup to this to expect what you're gonna be paying. But foreigners, they just 5,000 yen, let's go have fun with bunnies, but then here's 10,000 yen bill or something like that. There are some hosts out there on TV. We mentioned like the number one of these big clubs that are making like millions and millions and millions of yen, according to their own saying. I don't see the bank statements, but do you think there's a problem there? It seems to me from some documentaries I've seen that a lot of people indebt themselves and just spend all their savings on these hosts to enrich them. And
I think there's like a huge difference between the hostess club and host bar. Host club. Like the host men target the women, the young women, and they fall in love with them. And they don't have the money to pay to go to see their host, their favorite host. So what they end up doing is they end up becoming sex workers in order to pay that price. And I interviewed a girl about this. They have like a specific price that they pay to just be able to nominate their favorite host. And that's usually what the girls charge to have to sleep with them. For like, they stand on the street like in Kabukicho, and they wait for like the older men to come, and they give them, it's one ichiman gosen, how do you say that? Ichiman
gosen?
Yeah.
15,000?
Around for sex.
And so it's a standardized price, and they kind of all line up, and you just...
Yeah, that's what it costs to get to nominate your favorite host.
So the price they're charging is just to get the cash to nominate the host. What do they get out of nominating a host? Why?
They're in love with the guys.
But it's also just an illusion.
Yeah, because the guy's like texting them and telling them like they love them and stuff.
But he's doing this to like 30 girls at a time.
Yeah.
Don't people know by now that this is all...
they're lonely.
That's rough.
Yeah, but I think it's different for hostesses though, because the men who come, they're usually very powerful men. They're kind of there to show off. It's like an ego boost for them, and they're all like 90% of them are married, so they're not looking to fall in love with the hostess. They're not lonely. They're not simps. They're there because they're like, look at how I can spend money on these girls. I can do all these things.
I've got the extra cash to spend a 30% extra markup on my drinks for entertainment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're just there for sex, basically.
But you're not allowed to.
No.
Or in theory, actually, some girls, I imagine, may want to.
I mean, there's no rule that says that we're not allowed to. But I think most hostesses know that if you sleep with a customer, they're not going to come back. So it's...
Because the illusion is broken.
Yeah.
What is the regulation or the legal side? Do you know about... I mean, working at a bunny bar in that system is one thing, but paying for sex, that turns into prostitution, which may have legal consequences as well. Is this different? Is there like okay, this is allowed, this is not allowed kind of thing?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think if it's two consenting adults, they can just say that...
He just bought her like a purse or something.
I mean, that's usually... I mean, I get gifts too. Like they'll bring you stuff, And they think the more they give you, the more chance they have to be with you.
Is this
sexually.
something that you keep, or is this something that you have to declare to your employer and the employer takes a share from?
No, we
Just for
keep
you?
it.
So one problem you want to fix is transparency, maybe with the prices, and the other one is
I want to get rid of Dohan.
Get rid of Doha. Why?
It's not. I don't think it's safe.
Okay. Because the mama-san and the manager and the boss are not there anymore.
They just know that it's going on, but they don't know where you're at. They don't know. I mean, there's been like cases in the past where hostess have been murdered when they would go on Dohans with the customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're out in the wild and nobody to supervise and nobody to come to your rescue if suddenly the customer decides to put his hand on your lap or something. So get rid of Dohan. So you've got quite a few very clear ideas already on how to improve the industry. That will improve it a lot for the girls, I imagine. Do you feel that these changes are currently not happening so much because the current system makes more money?
Yes.
Yeah. So you'd have to find another way to make your bar still profitable. But if you are the standout bar with kind of a safe environment for girls, more transparent pricing, do you think customers will also flock to this because some customers may be not enjoying the current system?
I think so. I mean, some of my regular customers, they like to go to concept cafes, and those are just like cosplay cafes because we're bunnies, so they're into like cosplay stuff. And those cafes are just, they're like maid cafes. Like there's a system as well, but there's no like Dohan. There's no like weird stuff going on. People just go to look at the cute girls in the costumes.
Why bunnies? Do you know where that comes from? Like, what's the idea between like putting the rabbit ears and the...
I don't know. It's really popular in anime. Like every anime character has like a bunny version of themselves. I don't know why.
So it's part of an existing fantasy somehow.
Yeah, but I was attracted to this because I used to really like Playboy. Like Playboy clubs. I thought it's like really elegant and cool. So I felt like if I work here, it's like working at a Playboy club.
4 years ago, you started your YouTube channel. You said it's also taking a big part of your life, which is why you're kind of also managing your hours. What was your idea behind the YouTube channel, Silvie the Queen?
I was just... at first I was making videos just for my friends. Because my friends sometimes ask me like the same question like multiple times. So I just wanted to make videos like informing them like what's going on. But I have nothing going on besides work. So I thought I should have a hobby to like vlog what I'm doing and show people what I'm doing. I didn't think it would be popular. I didn't think like people would watch.
A lot of people are watching.
Yeah.
One of your videos that really blew up is your apartment tour. I think it's 10 square meter apartment.
Yeah,
that's probably as small as it gets in Tokyo. How do you find a place and why did you decide to go for such a small place?
I really love the location. It's Aoyama. It's like my favorite place in Tokyo. And I went there one time because I had a photo shoot, and I just remember walking through the park and I thought like this is like I would dream like I wish I can live here one day. And I searched the area and there's like no apartments in that area. They're all like for purchasing only, not renting. And the place I found was like the only one that was like for rent. So I just said I'll just get that because I want to live in like the area was the most important thing for me. So I didn't care how small it was.
10 square meters is very small, but it's not that uncommon in Japan, small places. How do you make it work to organize your things and kind of feel comfortable in a place like this? If other people are listening and struggling with a small place, you making it work, what are your advices?
You have to be really intentional about what you have. Like everything has to be... curated in the right way. Like I spent a lot of time organizing everything. Everything has a purpose in my apartment. I don't have things just to have things. Like when you live in America, you have like a big house. So I feel like it's more cluttered than my apartment is. People probably think my apartment has like too much stuff, But if I were to take everything and put it into like this room, it would be like a very little amount of things.
So if you have a big house, you want to fill the big house with a lot of stuff. If you have a small place, you have to keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, I think like minimalism is probably the way to go if you have a small space.
You're making content, you're sharing videos, your experience, daily life. A lot of people asking you questions like I have today about your life and your work as a hostess. How has this YouTube channel and kind of starting documenting this and having now a fairly large audience of people interested changed your life here in Japan?
Sometimes people recognize me on the street when I'm working.
Or when you're working?
When I'm working, some people will say hi. I think that's the only difference is like now I can't like pick my nose because people will be watching me. But I think maybe being more careful about what I say as well. Like I have autism, so I'm kind of blunt, and people tell me I'm too blunt. So sometimes I might say something that might hurt someone's feelings. And I used to, like when I started making my videos, I would joke a lot. And some people would be like, you joked about cancer, I'm unsubscribing to you. And like I can't, so I have to be like really careful about what I say and how I say it now, because I feel like a lot of people are waiting for a chance to like say they don't like me.
But in a way, you being very blunt, very honest is kind of nowadays a rare sight on social media, where there's a lot of people just staging everything, just scripting everything, and you kind of just give a raw version of yourself, of your insights, your experience, your feelings. Is that not more authentic and precisely what makes the people that like your content want to connect with you? Because when I look at your comment section, a lot of them are super positive, and all of them are super like, thank you, Silvie, for just being honest, for sharing. I feel the same way. And
yeah, I hide the negative ones.
Yeah, they're hard to deal with, right?
I honestly, my personal feeling is I don't really care what the haters think, but it just, I'm trying to make my community like a positive community. Like everyone in the comment section they're having conversations with each other. And it's a very supportive community, and I want to protect them. So I try to be careful because of them. I don't want the wrong people to like come across my content and then just start spreading hate.
That community is mostly online, or have you been able to actually bring that community out in the streets of Tokyo and meet up somewhere, maybe meet up at your bunny bar?
Yeah, I started a Tokyo meetup group. We have around 85 members.
Wow.
And some of them live in Tokyo, some of them are traveling to Tokyo. And I organize, when I have time, I organize meetups. I set up we rent out rooms and stuff, and we do fun things.
That's super cool. Community is super important. You mentioned that when you started working at the bunny bar, you kind of came off a rough patch. You needed money, you needed a job. It feels like you're now bouncing back into building your own community, building your own life here.
Yes.
So the next big step for you will be to set up that bunny bar of yours. What do you need to make that happen?
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, but I'm in the process of getting an investor.
Okay. Is there any legal ramifications on the structure of a bar, or is it just like a regular bar and therefore you need licenses for beverage and food, and there's no specific requirements because it's like a hostess or bunny club? No. So just finding an investor, finding a space. Where would you like to make it? Aoyama?
I was thinking Akihabara.
Okay.
Or keep it in Ginza. But I'm not sure. I mean, my manager, I told my manager about this, and he said like, once you open your bar, we're taking everyone with us. We're all gonna go with you instead.
Really, your manager said?
Yeah, my manager. He wants to take everyone to my place. He wants to leave the owner behind.
So leave the owner by himself, but take the whole all the team and everyone go over.
He recommended Akihabara, but I'm not really sure if that's the right way to go.
Seems like you're a pretty nice manager, kind of open and friendly, and maybe not like the stereotypical, boss behind a bunny bar, hostess bar that is like, you need to make money, you need to sell your drinks. It's kind of cool. The night scene in Japan is often associated with also Yakuza groups and so on. Is this something you have ever seen, experienced, or is this kind of more like the old way of thinking and it has changed quite a bit nowadays?
So in Japan, if you associate with people that are gang related, they're called like antisocial groups. You can lose your business. So a lot of people, if they are, it's hidden. They won't say it. They'll keep it to themselves. If you ask someone, even if they have tattoos or they're missing a finger, they're not going to tell you that that's what they are, because it's really bad for business. I did meet a guy, a competitor came to our bar the other day. He was covered in the tattoos. He was hiding them, but he just happened to be like, hey, look, because I think he wanted us to know who he was. Yeah, but...
Does this feel intimidating, or is it like, okay, well, I understand, but thank you for coming in?
I don't feel intimidated because I'm just a worker. I'm not the owner.
It's more like business transactions and things happening. Cool. Silvie, when can we go to your bar? Any ideas when you like to open this and when you want to launch your new project? I'm
going to start looking maybe in 2 years.
Okay. So you've got a little time, gather more experience, get more insights. Do you feel like we covered it pretty well, a little bit, your experience in the nightlife? Do you feel like there are maybe some other misconceptions, questions you get asked a lot that you would like to answer or clarify?
We don't have sex with our customers.
All right, let's say it once and for all. There is no sex with customers, and if there is, it's not part of official business. So people can go and come and enjoy maybe a nice evening at your bunny bar and just see that it's entertainment. Have fun. Be aware of the 30% extra charge. And maybe we can keep following your journey on your YouTube channel and see when your bar opens. And I'm sure you're going to be sharing the process of setting it up and the challenges and ups and downs. Silvie, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your insights. Thank you for everyone for listening and watching to this week's episode of Unpacking Japan, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future conversations. And we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this episode, here are a couple more that we think you'll enjoy. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you next time.